Hey guys, I am out here at Lake Stanley Draper and I am at point 11. Today I am in search of a few rose rocks. What I'm looking for doesn't necessarily have to be big, but I do want it to look like a perfect little flower. So that's what I'm in search of today. So wish me luck and I hope you enjoy. So this is the path that you take to go down there to the lake. And I have noticed already there is tons of broken glass all over the path. It is Friday, November 22nd. It is about 1:30 or so in the afternoon, and it's about 55, 60 degrees, somewhere around there. Lots and lots of broken glass. Plenty more pieces of broken glass. It's all over. Be sure to wear good shoes with good soles. I just wore these little Walmart water shoes because I thought maybe I might go out in the water a little bit. But I'm wishing I had something a little bit more sturdy because of all the broken glass. So right out here along the bank here at point 11, there are a lot of small little rose rocks, about the size of a nickel or smaller. But there is a ton of this broken glass, all littered all throughout it. It's just broken glass everywhere. So please be very, very careful if you're going to be reaching your hand in there to try to find a good rose rock or two. Here at Stanley Draper, each person is allowed to take 6 rose rocks per person per day. So I'm going to be kind of picky about the perfect rose rocks that I want to keep. And like I said, they don't have to be big, but I do want them to look like little flowers. We are pretty close to Fort Tinker Air Force Base as well, so you might hear some jets flying overhead. Yeah, and if I don't find the rose rocks that I'm looking for here at this point, I'm going to head down to the dam area and we'll search that area too. Now, every time that I've been out here before, I don't really find like clusters out here at point 11. I find some pretty good little roses, like they're really good quality, but they're pretty small. I find a lot of those as singles down here. The clusters I find more down by the dam, but they're all kind of beaten up and looked over and everything else. So I'm about 15 feet or so away from the bank, but even then, you can see there's little roses all the way up to here, you know. Pretty little things. So the banks are all of these little barite roses and broken glass. And looks like they're all either beat up, weathered, kind of smoothed over. Some of them have some definition. A little bit. But again, just not that quite that rose that I'm looking for. This one here doesn't look too terribly bad. Double-sided. We'll hang on to it for just in case. I'm not going to film every single one that I pick up, but I'll show some highlights there at the end of the 6 that I got. And I just saw one and I lost it. It's down around here somewhere, I believe. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I am out here and oh goodness, comes up to my elbow. How deep I am, and look out that one. I think that one right there is my keeper for the day. All right, so sorry about the jump cut. Point 11 started getting kind of busy, so I decided to go ahead and call it quits over there for the time being, and we came over here to point 12. So let's go check it out and see what it looks like. So I started walking down this hill, and there are some of these ruts, these little washouts, and there are all kinds of just little roses. Well, they're not roses, they're barite roses, but they don't look like roses. That's what they call them, the rose rocks. Just little barite clusters, just all scattered throughout all this little wash area. So every one of those little bumps that you see all through there, those are all little barite clusters. So I thought I'd get up here a little bit closer, take a look, and yeah, see, this isn't traditional gravel. It's just all those little barite pieces just broken up. No real good definition on any of them from what I could see. Of course, I'm not wearing my glasses, but still, it's pretty neat. All right, so I came down that pathway right there, and there's a few folks fishing over there, so I decided to make a right. And we'll head over this way. We'll walk along that bank and see what we can find. The water actually has some pretty good clarity today. It doesn't have all the waves crashing into it like over at Point 11 did. Here it seems to be a little bit more calm and a little bit more smooth. But there's nothing down there at the bottom except for some big rocks. So let's go find a patch of rose rocks. It's kind of neat seeing the rocks over here. One, I think they're cool. They're different than what's over there in Arkansas. And again, I'm just 3 hours away from my house. But two, you can see all the little barite roses coming out of the rocks. You see where my finger's pointing at there. My shadow right there, my shadow. All those little tan areas right there above my fingertip. There. They're just little barite roses that are coming up out of the ground. As the rock erodes away, those rocks come out and drop down into the water. All right, so I found a spot over here by this tree that's shallow enough to where I can get down and it's not up to past my knee. There's a rose. I bet if we clean that thing up, it'll look halfway decent. Same thing with this one here. I guess I just have to get far enough away from the main entrances to be able to find some of this good stuff and just go to where people haven't been as often. Okay, I think I may have found my good one from Point 12, and it's right there where my shadow is pointing, right there. Let's check it out. We will put that under the power washer and clean that thing up. I'm going to guess it's going to clean up pretty nicely. So this will be one of my keepers as well. Okay, so first impressions. Point 11 has a lot more to choose from. I mean, a lot of them, but they're all small, like maybe 1/4 inch or so, maybe up to 3/4 of an inch if you're kind of lucky. But you can just reach your hand down in the water and pick up, and there's just handfuls of them. Point 12, there are still some. You just have to walk farther away to try to find them. There's some bigger ones here as far as like golf ball or maybe a little bit larger in size. Some pretty decent quality on some of them. I'm going to keep 2 of them from here. But yeah, first impressions. Point 11 has a whole lot more, but they're a lot smaller. Point 12, you can find a decent amount, but you're going to have to look a lot longer and harder to try to find them. So I am down here, about where those guys are down there, where they were doing some fishing, is about where that pathway comes down. So I've walked down this way several hundred feet, and there's a bunch of rocks that they have dumped, old concrete and stuff, and it's really cool over here. And a whole lot of those rocks have kind of mixed in with the gravel down here, and so it's harder to find some of these rose rocks that are buried in there because there's just concrete chunks all over in the water, and they're all broken up and small, and they're just scattered all through here. So it makes it harder to find the rose rocks in here because of all the scrap that they've dumped. But seriously though, how cool is all this? That is so neat. So I came up here by these rocks just because I think that they're pretty neat, and I wanted to check it out. And look at that one right there. It's got a barite rose just coming right out of the side of it. Then there's another one right down there. How cool is that? So sometimes these little barite pieces, they'll look like a peach pit. Sometimes they'll look like a ball of yarn. Sometimes they'll be pretty smoothed over and you can't make out any kind of definition at all. But what I'm looking for today are some perfect little roses. All right, so this is me walking around over here so you can see what the rocks look like in the water. And again, I'm over here kind of close to this dump area. And see, that's just concrete. Here's just a weathered one. They're not the best quality over here so far. Sometimes you can find some decent ones, but a lot of these, like this one here, no definition on that. Another one here, no definition. And a lot of concrete, broken up pieces, broken bricks. So it makes it a little bit harder to try to find them because there's so much scrap material that was dumped down here. Again, more bricks and just tons of little pieces of concrete. Because there's a lot of scrap material here and it's making it hard to find the rose rocks, let's go ahead and leave this area and go check out the dam and see what we can find. So I'm over here at the dam and I'm going to walk right out to that point. They've redone the parking area where you have to go over there. They've got it all with that big thick cable. You used to be able to park right in through here and park anywhere over here on this open spot here, but not anymore. All right, so I'm walking out here to that little point, and there's a bunch of small gravel right here at the edge of the bank. And let's just stop what I'm doing for a minute. Reach my hand down in and wash off some of the dirt. There's some roses in here. See that? A bunch of little teeny tiny ones. Mixed in with a whole bunch of others. All right, so I'm closer over here and there's a whole lot less stuff here along the bank, but there's a lot more stuff that's pushed up here next to all this scrap filler rocks that they have over here. So you can literally like pick up handfuls and handfuls from over here. They are all over underneath. If you just rake your hand down through there, there's a lot of scrap rocks, but there's some barite roses in there too. But I would recommend wearing gloves, and please be careful because you never know where a fishing hook's going to be or some broken glass or something like that. So learn from my mistakes. So I was walking about 3 feet over outside of the bank right here in front of this point, and I found a perfectly little pressed flower, a little flat one. I like these ones that have a little bit of a matrix on them. I think they're pretty neat. It's amazing how barren it is out here. I mean, there's still quite a few to find, but you were never able to see this dirt. This was just rock upon rock upon rock out here. I haven't been out here in months, and it is highly picked over. Sure is pretty out here though. One of my first observations is that it's really picked over out here, and there's a lot more moss in the water everywhere. So I want to walk around for just a minute, and every little bump that you see on these rocks are little barite roses all over. The whole ground is made up of it. Every little bump, every little nodule, that's a barite rose. All over here. Look at that. It's amazing. All right guys, let's head back to the house, get these things power washed off and see how they turned out. So I traded up my singles and wanted to go for a couple of clusters. I wanted to show before and after what they can look like. So when I spray these things, I do it until the water coming off of them doesn't seem dirty, or until I start knocking pieces off. That clay acts as a glue to keep the clusters together, and if I spray too much of it off, then the piece just falls apart. After I spray it for a little while, I'll pick it up, examine it, flip it around, and hit it from a different angle. I forgot to mention, always wear eye protection whenever you're spraying stuff off because you're going to get filthy. Also, since I dug this thing up yesterday on the 22nd, there is a sweet little girl named Miss Victoria. It was her 10th birthday yesterday. So Victoria, I want you to have this, sweetie. Happy birthday to you. I dug this up on your birthday, so it is special. So it's all yours. Have your mommy send me your address and I will mail it to you for a happy birthday present. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.